Inner Sanctum was a very popular horror anthology that first aired on NBC in 1941, but later moved to CBS. Hosted by Raymond Johnson, the show featured stories of unimaginable thrills, horror, and mystery. Unlike other horror-based series during that time, the show had a tongue-in-cheek, playful style which made America laugh just before they screamed, until 1952. The masters of the creaking door were able to produce a total of 526 spine-chilling episodes for our amusement. Radio Gold is proud to present the Inner Sanctum Mysteries.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soups present Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host opening the squeaking door for another session of the AGGMS, the Association of Ghouls, Ghosts, and Midnight Spirits. Oh, may I see your membership card as you enter, please? What's that? Oh, no, it's not a printed card. All you have to do is show me your wrist. If there's any blood pulsing in your arteries, then you don't belong here tonight. Better come back and try some other time, after you've passed your mortuary tests.
Well, Mr. Host, I'm afraid I don't qualify as a member of your AGGMS, Association of Ghouls, or whatever it is. But I am a charter member of the ILLB Society.
The ILLB? What's that, Mary? It's a new one on me.
Why, those initials stand for I Like Lipton's Best. To join this club, all you have to do is see that the tea in your teapot is always Lipton's. The club password isn't a word at all. It's that familiar sound of appreciation, mm-hmm. For really, Lipton tea is delicious, as zestful and spirited as can be. And the reason? Very simple. It's Lipton's brisk flavor. Brisk, you know, is the tea expert's own word for the lively, full-bodied flavor of Lipton tea. That brisk flavor has made a lot of friends, for more folks buy and enjoy Lipton's than any other tea in the world. So try a cup of Lipton tea yourself. I know you'll say, as so many others do, I like Lipton's best.
And now for tonight's Inner Sanctum Mystery. It's an original radio play by Emil Tepperman called Make Ready My Grave, and stars two radio favorites, John Banks and Richard Widmark. It's about a boy and a girl who've just been married, a piece of colored string, an open grave, and a hangman's noose. That train is the Southeast Limited. See it? Long, sleek, and powerful, clicking off the miles and the humming rails. A masterpiece of 20th century mechanical perfection. Nothing about it to suggest lurking hate or fear or superstition or death. But let's take a look into compartment A, car 17. John and Betty Loomis, just married, are going for their honeymoon to John's ancestral estate.
John, I'm so happy. How soon do we get to Louisville?
In about an hour, Betty.
Just think, I married into one of the oldest families in the state.
I hope you'll be very happy, darling.
Oh, I will. You do love me, don't you, John?
Of course I do, baby. I'll always love you. Always. No matter what happens.
What do you mean, no matter what happens? What could happen? John, something's bothering you.
No, it's nothing at all.
You're hiding something. There's something you haven't told me.
It's nothing, Betty. It's nothing to worry about.
You don't want to tell me?
No, not now. Maybe later.
Why are you playing with that piece of yellow string?
What?
You've been playing with it ever since we came onto the train.
Gosh, I never noticed.
I watched you. You've been tying a knot in it.
A knot? Good Lord. I must have tied it without knowing what I was doing.
You've tied it into a noose. A hangman's noose.
I don't know how I came to make it or where I picked it up.
Well, it's only a piece of string.
Yes, it's only a piece of string. Betty,
What is it, John?
here, take this.
A gun?
Take it.
But why?
If I should ever try to strangle you, please listen to me. If I should ever try to strangle you, promise me to use that gun on me.
What are you talking about?
Lummersville, next stop.
Oh, this...
Next stop, Lummersville.
This is where we get...
John, what's this all about? That piece of yellow string and now this gun.
Put it away, Betty, and remember what I said. Don't ever forget it.
Why is it so dark here?
This is just a way station. The train only stopped here to let us off. Otherwise, it goes right through.
Oh? I thought Loomisville was a big town.
Well, it used to be 100 years ago, but now there's only the Loomis estate.
Are we far from the estate?
About 2 miles. Old Herman Galt should be here to pick us up in the station wagon.
Herman Galt?
Mm-hmm. He's the handyman. There's been a Galt working for the Loomis family for the last 150 years.
John, I don't like it here. Dark, and that wind.
What the devil can Galt be? I wrote them what train we were taking.
I'm right here,
What?
Mr. John.
Oh, Galt, you frightened my wife.
I'm sorry, ma'am, if I scared you.
Oh, that's all right. It was just the way you spoke so suddenly out of the darkness.
If you'll follow me, I've got the station wagon back here.
John, he doesn't like me.
Galt? No, that's just his way. He's very devoted to the family. Wait till you get to know him.
I don't think I care to. Johnny, he's driving too fast. It's so dark.
Don't worry, Betty. Galt knows this road like the back of his hand. We'll be there in a few minutes.
I'm frightened. Darling, please, tell me why you gave me the gun.
No, I can't tell you now, Betty. Maybe after you meet Uncle Everard.
John,
What?
what's that in your hand?
What? Oh.
Another piece of string. A red one this time.
Well, I must have picked it up in here, off the seat.
You've knotted it into another hangman's noose.
Galt,
Yes, Mr. John.
this piece of red string, did you put it here?
No, sir.
Then how did it get here?
You ought to know.
Yes. Yes, I ought to know.
God, why are you stopping here?
We're home, ma'am. This is the entrance to the Loomis estate. I've got to get out and open the gate. I'll be right back.
Betty, I've got to get out, too. I've got to see for myself.
See what,
You
John?
stay here, Betty.
But,
Stay right where you are.
Wait a minute, I'm coming
Go back,
too.
Betty. Get back in the car.
Mr. John is right, ma'am. You shouldn't go with him.
Take care of her, Galt. I won't be long.
God, where's he going?
That is the Loomis family cemetery.
Cemetery? What does he want to see in there in the middle of the night?
He'll tell you himself, ma'am. In due time.
No, I'm going to find out right now.
Better not, ma'am. Better come
John!
back.
John, wait for me.
Betty, I told you to stay
I'm
in the
going
car.
with you. I want to know what there is in that cemetery.
back in that car.
I'm your wife now. I have a right to know what this is all about. I'm going with you.
All right, if that's the way you feel about it. But hold on to that gun I gave you. Keep it in your hand all the time.
John, why?
You'll
Why?
find out soon enough. This is the gate of the family cemetery. All the Loomises and their wives are buried here.
It's so shadowy. White tombstones look like ghosts. Hold my hand, John.
No. Just hold on to that gun.
John, whose grave is this with the high tombstone?
My great-grandfather's, Stuart Loomis. He founded the Loomis estate. This is my grandfather's grave. His wife. Here's my father. My mother.
And that's all.
That should be all.
What do you mean?
Come over here. This is what I came to see. This is what I've been afraid of.
John, it's an open grave. Freshly dug.
Yes, Betty. It was just dug tonight.
But who is it for?
Betty, darling. I'm afraid it's for you.
Well, what's poor Betty letting herself in for? With a fresh grave waiting for her on a honeymoon. And a husband who ties little strings into hangman's nooses. But come to think of it, Betty's a lucky girl at that. How many girls who get married nowadays can count on finding a nice, snug place all ready for them to lie down in and rest? In peace.
Gracious, Mr. Host, Betty doesn't seem like a lucky bride to me. Why, most brides have things much easier. Because there's so many things today to help them make their marriage a success.
For example?
For example, Lipton tea. With Lipton tea on the pantry shelf, a young bride today has a much better chance of making her home a happy one. Just the other day, I was talking to a friend who just got married. As we sat there in her kitchen sipping our Lipton tea, me occupying the only chair and she perched on the kitchen stool, she said, "You know, Mary, it was silly of me to worry about being able to cook the things Jack liked. It's not nearly as difficult as I imagined. Take this Lipton tea here. It answers the whole beverage problem as far as Jack is concerned. He's happy as long as he has Lipton's morning, noon, and night." Well, I told her I could understand that, because most husbands I know about are partial to Lipton tea. And it's because of the extra satisfaction that's in Lipton's wonderful brisk flavor. Satisfaction, did I say? You just try Lipton tea and see if that isn't an understatement. Try Lipton's tomorrow.
Now, let's hurry back to our date in a graveyard. Remember? With poor Betty, whose husband has just told her he's afraid the freshly dug grave is for her.
John, what do you mean? Who dug this grave for me? Who?
If I told you, you'd think I was crazy.
No, you've got to tell me. If I'm in danger, I have a right to know. Was it Galt? Your Uncle Everard?
No, at least I don't think so.
His wife, Christine.
Betty, do you believe that a ghost could dig a grave?
Ghost? Do you mean I'm in danger from a ghost?
Oh, I told you you'd think I was crazy.
John, why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know. Betty, have you got that gun with you?
No, I left it in the car. What good would a gun be against a ghost?
There's the station wagon still waiting at the gate, but I don't see Galt.
Maybe he went up to the house.
Galt, where are you?
Hello there, John. What's up?
Uncle Everard. What happened to Galt?
He came up to the house. Said you'd gone into the cemetery. So I thought I'd better come down.
Oh.
Is it there?
Yes, it's there. A freshly dug grave. Uncle Everard, this is my wife, Betty.
Who are you, Betty?
Hello.
You saw the grave too, Betty?
Yes, and John says he thinks it's for me. I'm afraid I don't understand all
You
this.
haven't told her anything yet, John?
Well, just a little. I couldn't bring myself to.
I think it's time you did. More tea, Betty?
Thank you, Uncle Everard. I will have a little more.
You, John?
No, thanks.
Too bad Christina's ill. She's upstairs in our room. But I hope she'll be better by tomorrow. You can see her then.
Maybe.
What do you mean?
That grave out there. Maybe it'll be filled tomorrow.
John, don't you think it's time you kept your promise to tell me what this is all about?
You tell her, Uncle Everard.
Well, Betty, there's a ghost in the Loomis family. That's it in a nutshell.
Oh, I see. And it was a ghost who dug that grave.
I know it sounds mad. But after 150 years, we Loomises have come to the conviction that it can't be anything but a ghost.
150 years? You mean...
John's great-grandfather, Stuart Loomis, settled this strip of seacoast under a patent from the colonial governor. There's his picture over the fireplace.
He doesn't look much like you, John.
Stuart Loomis was a hard man. There was a French privateer in these waters who made a lot of trouble in those days. Gaston Leroux, who sailed the seas with his wife, Antoinette.
But what does a French pirate and his wife to do with that grave?
Stuart Loomis captured Leroux and his wife, and under the authority conferred upon him by the governor, had the power to hang them.
You mean the woman, too?
Yes. He hanged them both on a gibbet where our family cemetery now stands.
Oh, how terrible.
Before he died, Gaston Leroux laid a curse on the Loomis family. He swore that just as his wife was hanged, so would all the Loomis women die. He swore that he would come back and dig a grave for the wife of a Loomis in every generation and furnish the noose by which a Loomis would strangle his own wife.
But that's incredible.
Short while afterward, a fresh grave was found beside the gibbet where Leroux had been hung. That night, Stuart Loomis's wife, John's great-grandmother, was found hanging by the neck from the eaves of this very house.
And Stuart Loomis?
I told you Stuart Loomis was a hard man and had made many enemies. There were many who hated him deeply and bitterly. He was arrested and tried for the murder of his wife. Convicted and executed.
Now you know the secret of the Loomis family.
But, John, that still doesn't prove there's a ghost.
No, that one incident doesn't prove it. But it happened again when the next Loomis married, John's grandfather. And to the next Loomis, John's father. Sometimes a year after he married, sometimes 5 years. But the curse never fails.
It's happened in every generation?
Yes. And now, John Loomis has brought a new wife home. There's a freshly dug grave waiting in the family cemetery.
Then I'm next.
I don't know, Betty. Maybe that grave isn't for you.
What?
Maybe it's for Christine. My wife.
This is all ridiculous. A ghost couldn't dig a grave, make John strangle me to death. Uncle Everard, you can't believe such a legend. It can't be true.
Maybe not, my dear. But the graves of the strangled Loomis women are out there to prove it. Well, this is your room, Betty. I'll have called to call you at 8 tomorrow morning. Good night.
Good night, Uncle Everard.
Good night, John.
Good night, Uncle Everard.
This is such a big room. It's so gloomy.
The whole house is like that. It lies gloomy and sullen under the Loomis curse. Oh, Betty, I love you so much. We'll beat the curse together.
Let me go, darling. I want to change my clothes and wash.
All right. There's the bathroom over there.
I'll only be a minute.
All right, darling.
Oh, it's a lovely bath.
Betty, what is
John,
it?
quick.
What?
Look. Hanging from the shower bar.
What? A hangman's noose.
It's a real one this time. Of rope.
Ready to hang someone.
Who put it there?
It's the Loomer's curse. We can't get away from it.
No ghost could have hung that rope there.
Let's call Uncle Everett.
All right.
Have you got the gun with you?
No, it's in my handbag.
Well, get it.
But John...
Get it, I say.
All right, John. Here. Here, I've got it.
All right, now keep it with you all the time. And don't be afraid to use it. On me, if necessary.
All right, let's get your uncle.
This is his room. I wonder if I ought to wake him. It might upset Aunt Christine. She's sick.
We've got to wake him. Better knock harder.
Well, it wasn't locked.
Call him.
Uncle Everard. Uncle Everard? He doesn't answer. But there's a light in the room.
Push the door further open.
All right. Well, there's nobody in the room. The bed's empty. Uncle Everard? Aunt Christine?
Maybe in the bathroom. The door is open.
Betty!
John,
What? Aunt Christine.
She's hanging by the neck.
She's dead.
It's the same kind of a noose as in our bathroom.
Uncle Everard hanged her. It's the Loomis curse catching up with us. Well, Galt, any trace of Uncle Everard?
I searched the whole house, basement to attic, not a sign of him.
He must have gone out. Come along.
But it's raining.
We've got to find him, Betty. Come on.
So dark out here, how will we ever find him?
I have a flashlight, ma'am. You look.
What?
Fresh footprints in the slush.
Oh, they must be Uncle Everard's. They lead down toward the cemetery. Come along, Galt.
Here, Mr. John, you can see for yourself. The footprints lead right to this new grave.
But why did he come here?
There's the answer, Betty. A cross at the head of the empty grave. Throw your flashlight on it, Galt. There's something written on it.
It says, Christine Loomis.
Betty, what is it?
Look. Over there.
Another grave. He's dug another one.
There's a cross on this one, too.
Does it say anything?
Yes. Yes, it does. It says, Betty Loomis.
John, sit close to me. That portrait of Stuart Loomis over the fireplace looks so real. It frightens me.
Now, remember, Betty, whatever happens, hold on to that gun, and don't be afraid to use it tonight.
Where is Galt?
He ought to be here soon. He went to look for some weapons.
Here I am, Mr. John.
Galt, you always frighten me coming in so quietly.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Here, Mr. John. These ought to be pretty good weapons.
Size?
Yes, I had them sharpened only the other day. They could slice a man's head off in one stroke. Take one, Mr. John.
Thanks. But I'd hate to use it on Uncle Everard.
If he shows up tonight, you'd better use it.
Maybe he's come back into the house through the back way.
I'll go through the house again if you'd like. This time I'll start with the attic.
Be careful, Galt.
I will, Mr. John.
John, I don't like him.
Galt?
And I don't think he likes me either.
That's not true.
Darling, what's that?
Must be Galt in the attic.
Help, Mr. John!
He must have met Uncle Everard hiding up there. Stay right here, Betty, and hold on to that gun.
John, be careful.
Don't worry. Just take care of
John,
yourself.
come back. I'm frightened. I'm afraid to be alone. There's nothing to be afraid of. I have this gun. And if anybody comes... The lights. Lights went out. Who's there? Who's in this room? Don't come any closer. I have a gun and I'll shoot. I can't see you, but I'll shoot at the sound. John! Rope. Around my neck. Let go. I'll shoot.
It's not loaded. I took the bullets out when you left it in the car.
Galt.
Yes, ma'am, it's Galt. Mr. John is busy up there in the attic with the body of Mr. Everard. I killed him, too. And when Mr. John comes downstairs, he'll find you. And I'll cut him down in the dark with my scythe.
Why?
There were others besides the pirate LaRue who hated Stuart Loomis. Like my own great-grandfather, he was in the service of Stuart Loomis, and he hated him. When LaRue laid the curse on the Loomises, my great-grandfather decided to make it come true. It was he who strangled the wife of Stuart Loomis. And through the years, the Gaults, from father to son, have handed down their hate.
You're mad.
Maybe. I'll tighten the noose and finish
Betty,
you.
where are you? Why is it dark in here?
John!
Betty!
John, look out, it's Galt. He has us eye.
And so will I.
John! John!
Oh.
Who is it?
Oh, darling, where are you?
Here, John, here. Oh, darling.
Betty, we finished forever with the Loomis curse.
Well, that was a pretty rough honeymoon for Betty. But, you know, there's a lesson in her story for forgetful wives. Yes, if you keep tying little colored strings to your fingers to remind you of things and you still can't remember them, why not try a rope neatly tied around your neck? It's sure to help you forget.
Oh, dear, Mr. Host, there you go telling our listeners how to forget things when I've got something for them to remember.
Oh, I didn't realize that, Mary. What is it you want them to remember?
It's Lipton tea, folks. And you don't need any string tied on your finger or any such reminder. To make sure you get it when you visit your grocer's tomorrow, just remember that Lipton's is the tea with the wonderful brisk flavor. The fine quality tea that gives you all the goodness nature meant tea to have. I wish you'd try a cup of Lipton's soon, because it's so delicious. Just ask your grocer for Lipton's. Remember, Lipton's is the tea with brisk flavor.
And so our evening's over, with the usual quota of corpses to qualify for the ghoul school. We're working on a special matriculation for bachelor ghouls. In case you didn't know, a bachelor ghoul is one who believes that two can die as cheaply as one. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum Mystery novel is I Hate Blondes by Wolf Kaufman. And next week, the makers of Lipton Tea and Lipton Soups will bring you another Inner Sanctum story directed by Hyman Brown and called Dead Man's Turn. It's a little night course in murder, that's all. As you have your choice of majoring in choking, shooting, drowning. But why don't you just listen in to Inner Sanctum next week and you'll get all the inside told. Oh, yes, next week part of the country goes on daylight saving time. If your area remains on standard time, tune in to Inner Sanctum 1 hour earlier. Until then, good night. Pleasant dreams.
Want a delicious dinner treat in a hurry? then Lipton's Noodle Soup Mix is the thing for you. In just a few quick minutes, you have a grand-tasting chickeny soup ready to serve. Lipton's Noodle Soup is full of tender, golden noodles and seasoned to perfection. And it's economical, too. Costs less and makes lots more than ordinary canned soups. Just ask your grocer for Lipton's Noodle Soup Mix. Your family will love it. And don't forget to tune in next week for another Inner Sanctum Mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Let's take a short intermission. Nero Wolfe made his larger-than-life radio show debut on July 5, 1943. This intelligent detective show, based on the Rex Stout novels, proved to be a natural for classic radio. Throughout the show's run, Santos Ortega, Louis Van Rooten, Francis X. Bushman, and Sidney Greenstreet all filled the voluminous chair of Nero Wolfe. As well, a large assortment of actors played the part of every blonde's hero, Archie Goodwin. The Adventures of Nero Wolfe show remained popular on the airwaves in different versions for 8 years, from 1943 to 1951. In a few seconds, we'll return with another exciting episode of The Inner Sanctum. Stay tuned.
Inner Sanctum Mysteries, starring Ann Seymour and Myron McCormick. Brought to you by the makers of Carter's Little Liver Pills, the best friend to your sunny disposition.
Good evening, friends. Welcome. Welcome to the Inner Sanctum. This is Raymond, your host, teller of strange tales. Come in, if you dare. Now, before we begin, a word to those of you who don't frighten easily. It'll be no disgrace if before we're finished you find yourself trembling against your will.
Inner Sanctum Mysteries takes great pleasure in presenting two of America's best-known and best-loved radio artists, Miss Ann Seymour and Mr. Myron McCormick. Tonight, these two favorites of the air lanes co-star in The Man from Yesterday, an original radio mystery drama by Milton Geiger, brought to you by the makers of Carter's Little Liver Pills, the laxative with the two-way action. For over 60 years, everybody has known that the name Carter's Little Liver Pills means gentle and efficient help whenever a laxative is needed. Yes, and they know, too, that Carter's Little Liver Pills bring added relief by waking up the flow of a very important digestive juice. So take advantage of this two-way action and ask for Carter's Little Liver Pills.
Do you like to have your hair stand on end? You like to feel your blood run cold? Of course you do. Come along with me, then, to the jungle. Still and hot, weirdly yellow in the strange light of the tropic moon. In a clearing, the African natives of Dr. Robert Rand's museum party sway to the slow throb of their drums. A few hundred yards off in the thick bush, a monstrous humpbacked shape drops silently from the trees, moves swiftly across the shadowed jungle floor. Suddenly, the earth gives way under the dark, crouching monster's feet. He struggles wildly a moment and falls, disappearing into the earth.
Wanna run. Quick, come quick. Ngagi, come quick.
Eh? What's up, Sangala?
Is something wrong, Sangala?
Wana, you come fast. Bring big gun.
Oh, what is it?
Ngagi.
Gorilla? Where?
Old man, gorilla. He fall in trap.
Oh, you shouldn't go, Bob. You're feverish.
Where is he? Where is the gorilla?
Sangala, show you. Bring big gun. You follow me.
Can you see him down there, Bob?
Can I see him? What a fellow. What a prize he'd be for Professor Converse at the museum. A full-grown gorilla. Ruth, we've got to get this fellow home, alive.
Oh, Bob, it's dangerous. You're ill. Must you?
Converse would never forgive me if I didn't.
Bob,
What is it?
the gorilla hasn't made a sound for some time now.
That's right. Turn the flashlight on there, will you, Ruth? That's very strange.
Is he hurt?
No. But look at him. See how he stares up at me.
Yes. And such steady, knowing, intelligent eyes. Almost human.
Yes. Gazing so steadily into my own. Unflinching. Unafraid. And puzzled. As though he's seen me before. As though he recognizes me. Is trying to remember me from somewhere. Sometime.
All right. Easy, man. All away.
Ah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Nerve-wracking, moving a great ape from where he obviously belongs to where he obviously doesn't.
All right, hold it, man. Keep the cage from swinging as it comes down to deck level. All right. Lower away. Easy there now. All right. Good. That does it, man. Now cast away the lowering chains and begin closing the hatch. Be right up.
I'm tired, Bob.
A little. But it's a relief to have Ngaji safely stowed away down here.
Ngaji. It's a musical name, isn't it?
Means gorilla. Well, nothing to do but keep him safe in his cage, keep him from catching cold, and feed him wild carrots and parsley. If it were for anyone but Professor Converse, I'd chuck it all right now. Sorry I started it. I don't like him, Gadji.
Oh, he's a gentleman and a scholar.
Don't talk playful nonsense about him, Ruth. He's a killer.
He is not. I happen to know.
What do you mean you happen to know? Have you been around his cage again lately?
Well, I've been teaching him a few simple tricks, if that's what you mean.
What do you call a simple trick?
Well, for example, shaking hands with a lady.
Ruth, you haven't.
I have, and is my arm torn from its socket? It is not.
Ruth, don't you understand? You can't make friends with a gorilla. You can't compromise with the jungle. Gadji is clever and he's dangerous. He'll watch with those beady little eyes of his. He'll wait with that tricky little brain of his. Until his time comes. Now, don't give him his chance, Ruth.
Oh, you're not well, Bob. And so you magnify the dangers and the menace of the jungle and all that bookish stuff. All out of proportion to... Well, what's the matter?
Look at him. He's been watching me all the time. You see how he stares at me? Never batting an eye. Never moving a hair. Watching me. Matching my gaze, stare for stare.
Oh, come out of it, Bob.
Been like this from the moment we captured him. Ruth, that abysmal brute knows something.
Darling, this stuffy ship's hold is getting you. Let's go and feed some quinine, huh?
Very well.
What'll I do with Ngaji back home?
That's Professor Converse's problem, and he's welcome. Up the ladder with you. All right, men. Batten her down.
Bye-bye, Ngaji. So long, old man. Be good. Oh, Ngaji, the other hand. That's it. That's it. Ah, good fellow. Now, the other hand. Take my left hand now. The left. That's it. Oh, careful now. Don't squeeze so hard. Hey, Butch, take it easy. No. Mustn't pull it. Stop pulling, do you hear? Ngaji. That's better. Now let go of the lady's hand. That's it. Now then, how about some exercise? Think you could walk around the hold here with a distinguished dame on your arm? Yeah, let's see how this chain and iron pin work on this door. They think you can't be trained, but I know you can. Oh, this is easy. Oh, have this iron pin up in just a minute. Just be patient, old fellow. Oh, here it comes. Well, better luck next time.
You down there, Ruth?
Coming, Bob. We're just having a word with Ngaji.
Well, hurry. We've got little old New York on our horizon, and I'm quite glad.
That's very kind of you, Professor Converse, putting Ruth and me up at the museum like this.
Not at all. It's an empty room. Besides, I want to keep an eye on that fever of yours, because you won't.
Well, nevertheless, Professor, we won't impose on your hospitality a moment more than it takes us to get settled again here in America.
Yeah. Here's another door. After you, Rand.
Thank you.
This old wing is out of use, but it still has electricity. And what's more important, heat. Till the zoo can build proper quarters for Ngaji, we'd better keep him in here where the temperature is even.
I've been thinking, Professor. These oak doors wouldn't be any problem at all to Ngaji if he happened to get on the loose.
True. The door closing off this old wing from the new building is really made of iron.
I see.
So, unless your gorilla is of the armor-piercing variety, pretty safe. Here's next to the last door. This used to be our dinosaur room.
A huge room.
Well, here we are. Royal Suite itself.
Ruth, what are you doing in here?
I'm talking to Ngaji. Hello, Professor.
I shouldn't become too familiar with Ngaji, Mrs. Rand.
Oh, he's quite gentle. You know what he does now? He takes the rings off my fingers and then gives them back.
Takes the rings off your fingers. Ruth, come on, let's get out of here.
All right. You're rougher than a 500-pound ape. He's a real gentleman.
Look at him. Look how he presses his face between the bars. To get a closer look at me. It's been like that. By George, I'll give him a good look at
Don't
me.
get too close, Rand. Now, careful.
Oh, he doesn't know you well, Bob. Bob!
There, you ugly brute. Take a look. Take a good, long look. Well, what do you see? All right, he missed me.
Could have shattered your skull with that blow, Rand.
But it's only because he doesn't know you, Bob.
He does know me. He looked into my face, and he saw something. What did he see?
What do you think he saw? Well, I'm no fortune teller. I'm only Raymond, your host here in the Inner Sanctum. But I can tell you he must have seen something. But what was it? That's the big question. Yes, and when that logy, dull, sluggish feeling tells us that a laxative may be needed, the big question is, what laxative will do you the most good? Lots of folks have answered the question successfully by taking Carter's Little Liver Pills. Why? Because Carter's Little Liver Pills offer help in these two effective ways. One, they help relieve irregularity in an efficient, thorough, yet gentle manner. Two, usually within a half hour after taking them, Carter's Little Liver Pills wake up the flow of a very important digestive juice. It's this vital juice that helps tone up a lazy, sluggish digestive system so that folks can lose their grouts and feel better. You better keep that in mind, friends. And next time, remember Carter's Little Liver Pills. The laxative that helps in more ways than one. All right. Do you still want to know what the man from yesterday saw when he looked into Rand's face? You'll be sorry, but you asked for it. So let's go into Ngaji's cage with him now, as he listens to a strange, mysterious voice.
Ngaji, Lord of the jungle, do you hear me? Do you hear, Ngaji? Do you hear the jungle speak?
Ngaji, I am Ngaji.
I am the jungle.
Jungle.
You looked into the man-creature's pale eyes. Do you remember now? Do you remember that other Ngaji 1,000 million moons ago, before the pale man-creature walked the earth?
Man, small, weak.
Do you remember, Ngaji?
Remember.
You fought with him in the jungle, fought for the beautiful she. He conquered. How you hated him.
Hey.
He was mighty, and he was different from the others. When the others swept through the trees, that other one ran, swift as the wind, on the ground. Remember.
Remember. Hey.
You fought, and you died. That other one who was different stood triumphant in the clearing, his neck half bitten through, victorious. He who would one day be a man.
Man.
Your conqueror then. Your captor now.
Hate. Hate, man.
Where is your strength, O Ngaji? That this same other one conquers you again, as he did 1,000 million moons ago.
I am strong. I am Ngaji.
Yet the weak one wins. Here.
Come in, Rand. Come in.
Oh, good evening, Professor. Oh, you know it was me.
Of course. Well,
That's exactly why I'm here, Professor. Getting to be a habit around here. There's a knocking. It must be that feverish fool Rand.
come now. We want you here.
There's such a thing as wearing out your welcome.
You paid 1,000 times by bringing us back that magnificent gorilla.
I don't consider that adequate compensation. Professor, I might as well tell you. I'm sorry I ever blundered over the brute.
He's just getting you again. Go to bed and take
No,
some...
no. I'm afraid of him, Gadget. Not in the physical sense. I could cope with his power, his force. But he's changed. I can't cope with what he's become. It infuriates and humiliates me that gorilla has something on me. Has me at some disadvantage that I don't understand. It's gotten under my skin. You remember when he struck at me 3 weeks ago?
Do I remember? Of course I do.
He changed after that. When he looks at me now, he isn't puzzled. He isn't searching his memory for some clue to me anymore. He knows. He knows who I am and what I mean to him. Whatever it is, he hates me. Hates me with a dreadful, consuming energy.
I don't question that, Rand. It's plain enough.
Yeah, do you hear? He never had those tempers. Now something is tormenting him into a frenzy of hatred and defiance. Something in that secret brain of his.
You'd better calm him down before he dashes out that secret brain of his. Come on, Rand. We'll talk later.
Be quiet, you hear? Quiet! Quiet!
Who did you say was afraid of whom?
He's quiet, yes. But look at those eyes. Where have you seen such hatred?
Or such tremendous living power.
Yes. You've got to admire it at first. You almost think for a moment that he represents the super race. That big, black-haired, purebred gorillas are the dominating people. And on the basis of sheer power, with a certain amount of intelligence and ruthlessness, you think he ought to rule. Then you stop to think. You remember. Yes, he's pure black gorilla and powerful. But after all, he's just a gorilla.
Oh, I thought I heard him guard you fighting in here.
Well, you did. Your precious beast was having a tantrum. You catch cold running about barefooted like that, and that wouldn't do. Because Engadji might catch it from you, and that would be the end of Engadji. On second thought, perhaps you'd better run around barefooted.
But, Bob, he's worth a fortune.
Well, so are you. Now run along back to bed. Professor Converse and I have a chess game to play. Eh, Professor?
Engadji. Hi, old fella. I brought you bananas. Here. No, I haven't got any more. What? Oh, my hand. Which one? This? Oh, the left. Sure, pal. Take it easy, though. It breaks. That's a good boy. Oh, no. No, Engadji, give me back the rings. Come on, hand over the jewels. I'll pick them up, Engadji. Engadji! All right. Get them myself. But you won't hear the end of it. I'll show you. I've eaten your last banana for a month, and don't you forget it. Engadji! What's the matter? Oh, don't you know me? Engadji, stay back! Stay back!
Your move, Professor. Hey, Scott, it's Bruce. There's a light in the wing. Look.
He's loose. The brute's loose.
Wait a minute, Rand. Here. Take my revolver. I'll come along.
Never mind. Stay here. Call for help. I can't hold him with just a revolver. Hurry!
Bob, help me, Bob! Come to me!
Bruce, what happened? Are you hurt?
That's my answer. I unlocked the cage. He
There,
opened the door.
darling. That's all right.
I could just get in here and bar the door before he realized he was free.
Can you walk, darling?
No, I ran to the door, but I hit my foot and walked. I can't stand, Bob.
Put your arm around my shoulder. Hurry. He's breaking through.
I let him escape. I let him.
That's it, darling. Now hold tight.
But you're yourself. You can't carry me too, Bob.
Hobble on one foot now. Up.
Oh.
Come on now. All right, darling. Quick. The next room. Quick, in here. Now, the next room. We've got to hold him off. Blow him up. Come on, Ruth. Courage, darling.
I can't. I'm holding you back. Oh, leave me. Leave me with a gun. I can shoot. Please. Please. No.
In here. I'll try it. I got him. Quick now before he recovers.
Bob, you can't go on with me.
Just one more door. The last door. Iron. Can't smash iron. Keep moving. Try to help him, can you?
I'm trying.
A little further. Just a little further. Here.
Bob! What's the matter?
Ruth. It's locked. From outside, it's automatic.
Locked, but the professor...
I don't know. He's gone for help.
Oh!
Steady, girl. Steady.
The lights have... They hit the fuse box. Richard, the lights!
Listen.
He's dead. I got the shot in my face. He's dead.
Quiet. No. He's alive. He's stalking us in the dark.
How many bullets?
3.
Bob, one more for Engadji. Don't kill him.
Quiet. This way. Keep moving.
Now, Bob. He's against the window.
We'll see him, too. And I've got 2 shots left. Perhaps.
Come on.
Friend, where are you? Friend!
Watch your light over here, Professor.
Friend. Oh, thank heaven. You all right? Did you?
Oh, my George. It did. Point blank range. My last 2 shots. Yes.
In truth?
She's a broken ankle. She fainted. She'll be all right, though. Well, Professor?
That's the end of Boringachi, eh?
Is it, Professor?
You're certainly dead.
Again.
Again?
Have you ever had the feeling that something that has just happened, has happened before, somewhere, a long time ago?
A very familiar psychological phenomenon. What about it?
I feel that all this has happened before.
When?
And that it will happen again. I only wonder when. And where. And who will be the victor. Then.
Yeah, let me look at you. Oh, yes. You're hurt. There are the marks of teeth on your neck.
An unusual birthmark. It's occurred in my family for generations. Shows up when we become excited. Is it strange, Professor?
All right, friends. You can come out from under your table. Everything's all right now. Ngaji is dead, and we're safe for another 10,000 years.
Good.
Oh, Mr. Hurley, Ngaji was only imaginary, so don't let him worry you.
You're right, Raymond. Especially when real things can be so much more troublesome.
You mean things like an irritable, sour, out-of-sorts feeling that so often warns us a laxative is needed?
Yes, and that's why folks have been taking Carter's Little Liver Pills for years. They know the name stands for dependable, gentle relief. Yes, and besides, folks know that usually within a half hour, Carter's Little Liver Pills will wake up the flow of a very essential digestive juice. This juice is all important to normal, proper digestion. So why don't you take advantage of this time-tested, two-way action and ask for Carter's Little Liver Pills?
Well, friends, it's time to close that squeaking door to the inner sanctum until the same time next week. Invite all your friends to be here with you. It'll give you courage. There's safety in numbers. Well, next week, our ghost artist, pardon me, guest artist, comes with the highest credentials. He was on the horror roll at Spirit School. Fine student. And for anyone who'd like a snap course in exciting mystery reading, let me suggest this month's Inner Sanctum novel, The Murder of a Novelist, by Sally Wood. It's on sale at your favorite bookstore. Now, friends, here's an urgent, serious thought. Remember the Red Cross. It needs your help now more than ever. And also remember you are giving both for Christmas and for America. And your presents are United States defense bombs and stamps. Buy all you can afford today. Well, good night. Pleasant dreams, huh?
Attention, armchair detectives. One way to solve a puzzling case is to keep your eyes and ears open. What valuable tip would you get from this conversation?
I ought to have been home 2 hours ago.
Got to get this order out, Tom. It's important.
But I've stayed 3 nights this week.
Well, so's everyone else. Come on, Tom. These days, grouting's out.
But you fellas don't feel as sunk and low down and out of sorts as I have lately.
I can't afford to. There's too much work to be done. So when you get the feeling slowed up and sluggish, why not do something about it?
Yeah? What do you suggest?
Try Carter's Little Liver Pills.
Right. And when you don't feel good, try Carter's Little Liver Pills. They do the work of calomel, but have no calomel in them. for they are simple pills made of vegetable drugs. They wake up the flow of one of our most vital digestive juices. When this vital juice flows at the rate of about 2 pints a day, it helps to digest our food and bring back the glorious feeling that goes with regularity. Then most folks feel like happy days are here again. But be sure you get the genuine cottage little liver pills. 25 cents at all drugstores.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Best of X-1 from Radio Gold. X-1 has been described as one of the finest offerings of American radio drama and one of the best science fiction series in any medium of all time. Subscribe now to be notified when new shows drop. Radio Gold is a 3 Nines Fine radio production. See you next time.